Welcome, welcome, guys. Welcome back to day 3. Good to see everybody here. I see so many of you who've been here in the past. It's good to see you guys staying accountable and coming back for day 3. How are you guys feeling? How great was yesterday? Did you guys get some good time to go home and play with all the new breath support tools that we were doing from yesterday? I hope so. Good. So tell me in the chat who played with your breath support tools. Say me. I'm curious. Yeah, Donna, Taylor, awesome. Sharita, Rashida, Jenna, good. Oh, I see Kathleen, Dolores, Aishan, Elshan. You guys are on it. Stay on it, okay? Like it's time in the saddle with these things and checking in to make sure that you're doing it right, okay? So curious, if you got some reps in with your hissing and your trills, if you have questions about it, like definitely bring it to the Q&A coaching day on Sunday, because Sunday is like a whole Q&A. So like if you're jotting down things that I haven't answered yet and you're curious and you're working on things in your body and you're not really sure if this sensation is right or that feeling is right, bring it to the Q&A on Sunday, okay? Who did your meditation today? Tell me in the chat. Say me. Who did your meditation? I'm curious. Who did it? Jean did it. Stelios, Jonna, Nula, Javon, Dolores. Nice. Sela, Natasha. Good job, you guys. Jeanette did it. Good job, you guys. Stay with the meditation. I'm telling you, this is how we create a much stronger mind-body connection in the moment of singing. Is anybody 3 for 3? Who's 3 for 3 on your meditation? Put 3 in the chat if you're 3 for 3. Celebrate yourself. Oh my God, look at all you guys who are 3 for 3. Well done. Celebrating every single one of you for your accountability to the change that you want to be and that you want to see in your sound, in your performances. Awesome, awesome. If you're not 3 for 3, no blame, no shame. Just pick it up again. If you forgot yesterday, there's no shame in whatever happened yesterday. Today's a new day. Make a different choice. Do it again today. Okay. So just don't forget to do it daily, all right? Like it really is that daily conditioning that's so important. So keep doing it each day this week. So we have a lot to get to today. Just a little reminder of our housekeeping. Save your questions, train first, and then we'll get to questions. And like I said, we have the whole session on Sunday for that. A reminder that this is the safe space. Those who share, those who sing, we want them to feel like they are super safe to explore, to experiment, to fall down, to get up. So we encourage that vulnerability and that bravery. So please, there is zero tolerance for criticism, meanness, judgment in the chat. Please uphold that value. It is one of the highest values of this tribe. Make sure that if you do want to be a guinea pig to volunteer to sing today, make sure that your original sound is enabled in your settings and then it is turned to on in the meeting. And, oh, yay, I see that we have Coach Annie in the house today. Ooh, she's the expert technique coach who works alongside me with our singers in our intensive training program. She's amazing. Hey, Annie, good to see you.
Hi, Arden. Great to be here. Thank you for having me today.
I know some of you may recognize Annie if you're in our pro singer group or if you're following my content. Annie and I do these like geek out sessions where we talk about technique and we talk about tools and stuff. So you may recognize Annie for that. So glad, Annie, to have you here today and to have you, pitch in with your awesome mojo as we get into
Can't
coaching.
wait.
Cool. All right, you guys, let's get to work. So most of you are putting yourselves out there for auditions, performances, recordings, and you're making an innocent mistake. You don't realize that you lack what I'm going to call the rocket fuel to actually stand out from the competition at the level you want consistently. It's a consistency issue and deliver that sound, deliver that potential in that performance when it counts, no matter what, which then also affects your confidence. And this is why you're not breaking through yet. Operative word, okay? And that rocket fuel, that ammunition begins and ends with one idea. And that idea is what we call energetic sound direction. Energetic sound direction. The way we direct our energy to get the maximum power, efficiency, and impact out of our instrument. And how we do this is by using opposition. Opposition. So yesterday, you got your anchor. We talked about your anchor, that foundation in the lower body of the breath support that anchors the sound in that lower part of your body. And so today, I'm going to talk to you about and give you your sail because you need both. You need your anchor and you need your sail. And once you have them, you're able to use energetic sound direction in the form of opposition. So I want you to think of a boat. You've got your anchor rooting into the sand, you've got your sail facing into the wind, and whew, that boat is not going anywhere. It is super, super stable. And it's the same in your body, in your instrument. So the energy of your support and the space and the shape of your resonance need to oppose each other energetically in the very same way that an anchor and a sail on a boat oppose each other to create stability. So it's that stability that allows you to consistently tap into the maximum potential of your instrument and bring your best sound every single time. So that is concept number 1 today. So if you're following along in your masterclass workbook, this is where you fill that in. Opposition is what creates absolute stability, consistency, and power for your biggest impact. You need your anchor and you need your sail. But right now, you only have your anchor. That's your support, which we talked about yesterday. And if you missed yesterday, definitely go and watch the replay of yesterday, because that is like really super important information, because that's your foundation, that's your sail. I mean, your anchor. So let's talk about your sail today. And for those of you who want stronger high notes, who need help with mixing, register changes, high belt, this is the essential piece. The sail refers to the shape and the space of your resonance. So sound resonates in your body in 3 places. It resonates in your head, so like in your sinuses, between your skull and your brain. It resonates in your chest cavity, below your collarbones, and it resonates in your buccal cavity, which means inside your mouth, in the shape inside. Now, you can't change the shape of your head. Your head is the shape that your head is. You cannot change the shape of your chest, but you can affect the shape of your buccal cavity, of the inside of your mouth, with what you do with your soft palate, your jaw, and your tongue. And this is super, super important because the shape of a space determines its resonance. So think about it. Like you have a super squat room and it's like a really dead room. It's really dead sound. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have like a tunnel and it's an echo, right? So like that shape of that room determines the kind of resonance and the kind of sound that you get. And it's the same inside our body, in our buccal cavity. The major thing that affects the shape and space of our resonance, of our buccal cavity, is our soft palate. That's your sail. Okay, so let's talk about soft palate. Most of you probably know where your soft palate is, but in case you don't, the hard palate first is what comes first. The hard part where if you're going to like put in a retainer, hard. Now, if you run your tongue back, you'll notice it gets soft at a certain point. It's like when you get allergies and you get super itchy in the back of your throat, like that's your soft palate. Okay, and you can feel this if you run your tongue where it's soft and then come forward and you feel where it gets hard. So that's your soft palate, okay? And we want a big old soft palate, a big old sail, providing lots of space for the sound to bounce around and resonate inside your buccal cavity, okay? But it's not just any space. It's the shape of the space also that matters. So when we're talking about soft palate, let's just get acquainted with how we can manipulate and affect our soft palate. Because you guys actually do this in your day to day, change the shape of your soft palate. And the size of like how much space is in your soft palate. You do it all the time, but you don't realize it that like that's what you're doing. And so it can be a little bit, just a new sensation to change the shape and space of your soft palate at will, but you do it anyway. So think about like if you are going to smell something really good, like if I take a plate of brownies fresh out of the oven, hot and gooey, and I put the brownies like right in front of your nose and I'm like, smell the brownies, and they smell so good. And so you're smiling and you're like, I want you guys to imagine that you're smelling brownies right now and take a nose breath into a smile because it smells so good. And notice how your soft palate stretches when you do that. The soft palate like expands and pulls up like it's a sail expanding back there. Do it again. Nose breath into a smile, and you can really feel the stretch of the soft palate when you do that. It's like a sensation of your ears kind of widening away from each other. If you breathe into the space between your ears, that's another way of feeling it. And you guys, I'm asking you to do it as a nose breath right now because it's just slower and easier to feel as you're doing that. So if you can breathe into the space between your ears and feel your ears widen away as you do that, you feel a stretch in the soft palate. Another way to feel it is as the top part of a yawn. So when we yawn, we do two things to create so much space. We pull and expand and stretch the soft palate, and we take our tongue and we depress the larynx. When we sing, we don't want to depress the larynx, okay? But if you yawn right now, you can make yourself yawn. For some of you, it's hump day, it's Wednesday. You should be able to find a yawn. You can really feel that soft palate stretch, the top part of a yawn. We don't want the bottom part, okay? But to feel the top part. Another way of feeling it is kind of feeling like as you breathe in through your nose, your top back molars are like riding up into your brain. If you can like pull your molars up into your brain, that's another way of feeling it. So I'm giving you like lots of different ways of tapping into this sensation, and you'll find one that works for you, okay? But the thing about the soft palate stretch is that it's up on a diagonal. It's stretching this way, not down into your throat. That's not stretching the soft palate. It feels like you have a lot of space, but the space is in the wrong direction. It's not the soft palate stretching up, like smelling the brownies. It's actually leaving the soft palate where it is and pushing down on the larynx with your tongue. So you feel like you have a lot of space down here, but it's all space that's pushing down, which we don't want, okay? So that feeling of the soft palate stretch is a tilt. It's up on the diagonal this way. So I want to show you this. I'm going to show you something that is one of my favorite parts of this workshop because it's just, I don't know, it's just cool. If you take a picture of any singer who really knows what they're doing, it doesn't matter, opera singer, pop singer, whatever, any singer like mid-sing, like mid-big note, and you look at the way that they look, mid-big note, like in a still snapshot, they all look like this. Because they are all in that feeling of inside smile. Like if you breathe into a smile, they're all in that soft palate stretch. So check this out, just in case you don't believe me. Look. Okay. Bruno Mars, pop singer. Anna Netrebko, opera singer. Beyonce, pop singer. Sutton Foster, Broadway singer. Leslie Odom Jr., Broadway singer. Pavarotti, pop singer. Look at them. They all look like this, okay? They are in super high soft palate lift. Now, the reason I'm showing this to you is because this is the external expression of the internal feeling of soft palate stretch. So what I mean by that is like when you are breathing into a smile, when you are feeling that smell the brownies, right? It's you know that the external like smile feeling, when you see that externally, you know that the internal soft palate tilt and stretch, that sail is inflated. So it's an easy doorway using that kind of smile. It's an easy doorway into the soft palate stretch if you're new to it. At the end of the day, like I can sing with a super high soft palate stretch, and I don't have to actually smile, but you'll still see that my cheeks and my ears are widening away from each other, pulling my soft palate up. So if I do it with the smile, right? So I can do whatever. But let's say I'm singing a really sad song. Do you see how I'm still here? I'm not no. Okay. So we're going to get more into this idea today, but what I want you guys to get is like right now while it's new, okay? Like this feeling of the smile while you sing, this is the external physiology of what it looks like when the internal physiology of your soft palate stretches nice and high and stretched and big and like the Hollywood Bowl back there, okay? And so while it's new, the easiest way to feel that stretch and that soft palate is to use this nose breath into a smile to smell the brownies. But then you have to keep that stretch over the duration of the phrase while you're singing and not let it fall down. So what we don't want is like, whatever, I was working on Kadomio Ben with a student who was working on some classical stuff recently. And what was happening to her was, you see
You
how as
need
my
the
face
original
dropped,
sound.
my soft palate dropped, and I went flat in pitch, and I lost the ping and the ring of my sound. Okay, so you got to think like fish hooks, pulling your soft palate up over the course of the phrase so that your sail is always up when you sing. The fish hooks, your sail is always up when you sing. And this brings me to the second concept for today, concept number 2 for today, which is that,
Arden, you need your original sound.
thank you. All right. So you guys saw my face. You might not have heard my sound as good, but this is why original sound is so key. So thank you to Zoom for letting us enable original sound. Thanks, Ashley. So concept number 2 for today is we are always moving our anchor, which is our support, the muscles, everything that we were talking about, flexing down and out yesterday. We are always moving our anchor and our sail away from each other over the course of the phrase. That is concept number 2. Always moving anchor and sail away from each other over the course of the phrase. Write it down. This is the first way that you are going to employ opposition, an energetic sound direction. You're directing the energy of these two things, your support and your resonance, away from each other. Why does this matter? Because if your anchor and your sail, your support and your resonance space are moving towards each other, here's what happens. So I want you to consider that your larynx is the midline, from like above your heart space to like right above your larynx. This is where your larynx lives, okay? If your sail is moving towards the midline, towards your larynx, now you're encumbering the sound from above. You're pushing down on the larynx. You're creating tension. You're creating a small space. And if your anchor, if your breath support is going this way, we know what happens when we talked about that yesterday. It pushes the diaphragm up. It pushes too much air. So now you got too much air coming up, creating tension and pressure below the larynx this way. You got too much pressure and not enough room, creating pressure and strain on the larynx this way. And now you've got everything encumbering the larynx, and the vocal cords are not free to vibrate as efficiently and as consistently as possible. Not to mention the fact that these two things, they actually play in with each other. Because for example, if you're pushing too much air up because you're not efficient in your anchor, you're not rooted and grounded in that consistent grounding of your diaphragm to stay low and move slow. If you're not doing that and you're pushing too much air up, then the body goes, oh my gosh, that's way too much air. I need to tamp it down, and then you drop this and you lower this, and so now you're encumbering from both sides, and it works the other way too. When the soft palate is low, there's not a whole lot of room here. It creates a block, and the body goes, well, God, how am I gonna get all this air past this heavy tension that's pushing down on my cords? I better push more air to push it up. But now you're in too much of, flooding and hurricane of air. And then the body goes, well, wait a second, that's too much air. And now you try to control it from up here, and now you got this negative feedback loop, okay? So always, always, always moving everything away from the midline, away from the larynx, to free the larynx to vibrate as efficiently as possible. And so when we're moving everything away from the midline, that opposition creates stability. And that stability allows the larynx to vibrate the most optimally and the most freely for the most consistent sound, being able to move through registers smoothly, and the biggest impact on your audience, okay? So if you have problems with reliability, with consistency, with confidence, because sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, you never really know what's coming out. If you have issues accessing high notes, getting to the top of your range, especially head voice, for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, both have head voice, okay? If you have pitch intonation issues, your sail is a huge reason for a lot of intonation issues. Problems changing registers, moving through mix, moving from head to chest. All of these things, guys, it's because you are not opposing. Your anchor and your sail are either, they're moving towards each other, either putting pressure on your larynx instead of opposing each other, moving away from each other, or they're moving in the same direction, in which case that creates instability. And now without that, your larynx cannot vibrate freely and efficiently up and down through the course of your whole range. So one of the best ways to learn to practice opposition is through sirening. So sirening is something that we do a ton of with our singers in our intensive training program and all of our, whatever level you're at. And what is sirening? So sirening is literally like a siren. Yeah, just a siren. Woo, woo, like a ambulance siren. Woo, woo, or just from the bottom of the range to the top of your range. Yeah. We practice opposing our anchor and our sail at first using a siren. So your job is not to make it beautiful. Your job is not to sing this. Your job is just to siren from the bottom of your range to whatever the comfortable top of your range is and down, being super present to the feeling of smelling the brownies on the inhale and staying in that super high, pull your molars back into your brain like space, regardless of where you are going up or going down. So what that looks like in my body, you can watch me be in my sail, which so I'm going to breathe into that place. Yeah. And as I'm moving, I'm thinking like pull, like I'm really pulling up the siren. Like in my mind, I'm seeing my soft palate just like with fish hooks, like because that is my stability of my resonance. And at the same time, once I find that, so as you guys are playing with the siren right now, like be really present to feeling your ears widening away from each other, present to feeling that sensation of the keeping that sail inflated. And at the same time, setting the energetic direction for your opposition and opposing that sail with your flex down into the container of your support, that feeling of down and out, like moving what we were talking about yesterday. Don't let the bra fall down. Allow these to anchor like the French coffee press, going all the way down and flexing through these muscles, because again, we're moving everything away from the midline. So when I siren, I'm thinking of almost like a spring rod, you know, like that if you turn it this way, like a curtain rod that's on a spring that goes in between the window, right? And like it's on a spring. So you can't just move one side of it, like either they both go or they don't. So if you turn it this way and you think of like your spring rod, it's just another way of thinking sail going up into the wind, anchor going down into the sand, over the course of the whole phrase. So if I siren, yeah, like that is what I am telling myself the entire time I'm sirening. So as we set this energetic direction for your sound, you want to what you're doing is you're creating space. You're creating this massive like channel of space, of this stuff moving this way and creating lots of space here. The whole container here moving down and away, keeping diaphragm low. And so we have so much space now for the sound to implode. So that's another energetic direction you can give yourself to implode your sound, to bring the sound to you. You're creating that space and the sound comes in. You guys, it's not your job to get the sound out. If you're telling yourself, I got to get that note out, words matter because your body will follow what you tell it. And so if you tell yourself, okay, I got to get the sound out without realizing it, you're going to mess up your opposition, because this is going to push up to get the air out. This is going to push down to get the resonance out. And now what have you done? In trying to explode that sound, you've gone whack, and you've completely sabotaged and compromised your opposition, okay? But when you think implode, oh my gosh, if something's going to implode, it's like whoosh, right? The sound and the energy and the space is coming in and exploding within you. It really helps you to stay in that feeling of opposition, because it keeps your body doing what you need it to do. So implode your siren. Yeah! Instead of yeah, you know, and then that didn't feel good at all. So even when I do it the wrong way on purpose, it doesn't feel good. Hang on. All right, so that's your siren. You're going to practice just sirening around. Then we're going to bridge the siren to a scale, to the Mamo Moo scale that we were working with yesterday, that was in the MP3 technique training that I gave you yesterday, okay? So the Mamo Moo is just a scale. It's just a, you know, Mamo Moo, simple scale. But we're not going to think of it as a scale. We're going to think of it as a siren, because in truth, guys, this is just a siren. So you're going to siren between the pitches first to find that consistency of your sail and your opposition. Then you're going to articulate the pitches, but I want you to slide between the pitches. This is what we started to talk about yesterday when I was working with, I think, Isabella, is siren this, you guys. Don't sing it. And like I said, I'm not going to make you sing Slurpy Dorpy forever, but right now you got to understand and have the sensation in your body of what it feels like to consistently move your anchor and your sail away from each other, regardless of if the pitches are changing. Because what we don't want is a new setup of that opposition every pitch. That's not consistency. that causes a whole lot of problems because every time you change pitch, your anchor and your sail are going, okay? Again, like if we have H's, ma, things are trying to control things. So disconnect from needing to sing it, needing to sound good. It's just a siren. Ma is no different than ma. Do you hear how slidey and how connected the dots are there? Okay, so take your siren and find that in your body first, then put it into your mamo moo, which brings me to concept number 3 for today, which is do not change your anchor and your sail when you change pitch. Do not change your anchor and your sail when you change pitch. What did I say? You are always constantly opposing anchor and sail no matter what. The constant sensation of pulling up between your ears, the constant sensation of leaning down in your lower abdominals and between your legs, this is always happening. It doesn't change or stop or get interrupted when we change pitch, when we change direction, when we change syllables. It is not the thing that articulates the pitch. This is your steady consistency, the energetic direction of opposing these two parts of your physiology that creates ultimate reliability and consistency, okay? So you are always opposing anchor and sail, no matter what. No matter what, if pitch is changing, if the direction of the pitch is changing, if the words are changing, no matter what. So let's coach on some of this now, on the idea of opposition. So who's got an audition song or a song that you gig with all the time that you'd like to volunteer to be a guinea pig to work on opposition? So go ahead and use the raised hand function. And I gotta put this back so I can see you guys. Okay, all right, Stelios, I saw your hand. Go ahead and unmute.
Hello, hello.
Hello, I'm so glad you volunteered. Okay, so go ahead and stand up and let's just do a couple bars of something that you know, whether it's an audition piece you use a lot or a song that you've sung a bunch. And let's see if we can help you put opposition in, okay? So can you take one step back? There you go, perfect. Now I can see you.
We can do che gelida manina.
Yes. Do you want to start at the beginning or do you want to start in the middle? Where do you want to start?
We can do the beginning because it starts with fifth and
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
So it's an A flat.
Here, I'll give you the A flat.
Start running.
Oh, no, that was the A flat. I thought you would ask me for
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscaldar, cercare che giova, al buio non si trova.
Okay, good. Let's just work on that much, okay? So, when you get the recording of this, Stelios, and you watch it back, I want you to rewind it. I want you to watch back what you did. And I want you to look at your top part of your mouth, your cheeks, your ears, okay? And I'm gonna exaggerate right now, okay? But what you're gonna see is this. Che gelida mare. There's no sail right now. There's no activation of the sail. And do you guys hear that, like how that affects even my sound when I don't have my sail up? Che geli instead of che gelida mare. It's like night and day. Okay, so I want you to breathe into the space between your ears, smell the brownies. Like imagine I put those hot, gooey, yummy brownies right in front of your nose and they smell really good. Good, and take a step closer to the camera for me, if you will. Even closer, and then lift the screen for a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, great. Come a little closer. Okay, now, oh, yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so now breathe into your nose, smell the brownies. It's breathing into a smile, you guys. It's like, do you feel your ears widening as you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then do you feel the soft palate stretching when you do that? Breathe through your nose that way into a smile?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So now you're going to breathe in to smell the brownies, and then you're just going to siren on the word K. K. And you're as you siren on the K, you're going to continue to pull on this and not let it fall down. And you're going to pull between your ears. It's like your fangs are riding up into your brain and your molars are riding up into your ears. Okay? Breathe into it and then K siren. Right. Like you notice, guys, how as he descends, I'm going like this, like this, like this, like this. So it's like the trunk of a car, right? As you descend, continue, open it, open it, open it, open it. Because the habit is that as the pitch descends, that sail wants to go in the direction of the pitch. Okay? So the interesting thing is with Que Gelida is that you have the same pitch for the first couple of notes, okay? But you have to continue to pull. Que Gelida Marina. So now the
Mhm.
pull, do it on the tone, okay?
Che
Okay, wait. Pause. This is
gelida.
what happened. You breathed in, and then it went, and it went down your throat.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so I just want you to siren. So you guys, we're using siren here on the word ke, right? Like tilting, because remember, you guys, we said it's not just the space that matters, but the shape. And right now, your shape, Stelios, is going back down your throat. It's
Up.
got to go up towards your eyes. Open the trunk towards your eyes. Ke.
Che gelida marina.
Yes!
Che.
What do
Mhm.
you notice about that?
I feel the vibrations actually on my back teeth. Like it feels like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Because the resonance is now out of your throat. It was
Mhm.
stuck back down your throat. You guys, his sail was low, and there was nowhere for that sound to bounce around. Okay? So now that same sensation, let's skip ahead a little bit to the high part.
Mhm. Se la lasci riscaldare, cerca from
The
here.
cerca. So before you do it as a siren. Breathe in, feel your molars, and then in my register, cheer. Yes! Now, that was exactly the right placement, but I'm going to be super picky right now, okay? Because we don't want to get into any bad habits with something new, okay? So you did this beautifully, but what I noticed was that this kind of wanted to come up
Up.
in the direction of your sail. And so you guys, this is like the hardest part for everybody who learns this. It's a little bit like doing this because your sail went up beautifully, but your anchor kind of came up in the direction of your sail, okay? So do the siren again, and you can even use your hands to remind yourself one is going up, one is going down, okay? Smell the brownies?
Mhm.
Or cerca, I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Yes, again, pull it even forward, more tilt towards behind your eyes. Yes. Is there a shape, an image, a sensation? What do you notice about that?
So there is kind of like a lift in the yeah, like
Yeah.
biting up.
Yes. Okay, so now that you've got it on the siren, so now continue that opposition and just implode that phrase into all that beautiful space, okay?
Mhm. Cercare che
Okay. Good. Let's do it again. And I want you to siren. So don't worry about making it sound pretty. We're just going to siren. Cheer code! Cheer code! In your opposition, okay? Good. That was consistent, okay? So now we're going to just hang out on the A flat for a second. And you're creating this beautiful opposition, and I want you to visualize the implode of this. It's like a supernova that's imploding and spinning in this space. Okay? Because right now it's like you get the opposition, but then you kind of and it's just like you know, implode and spin in the implode. So don't worry about going down to the next note. Just find the A flat, okay? Okay, that was great. But, and again, I'm gonna be super picky. Any other teacher would let you get away with that. That was great, but it was too much force, okay?
Okay.
It's gentle. So then so can we, instead of the spin being up here, can it be the whole spin in the body this way, the whole thing? Okay? Can I ask you a question though? Are you on what kind of device are you on?
MacBook. And
Okay, so you're on a laptop. If you
yeah.
look at the top of the Zoom screen where it says recording, you see that?
Yes.
And then does it say original sound for musicians?
Yes, it's on.
It is on. Okay, just making sure. Okay. So one last time, you're right on this, Stelios. Spin, but include the whole body in the spin so that the body feels like it's flowing and moving instead of holding and forcing. Okay? Okay, pause. Can you, right, it feels, do you feel your vibrato is getting stuck here?
Yeah.
Okay?
I
Yeah.
felt here, yeah.
Yeah, so back up. Let me see a little more of you so I can see your, yep, okay, perfect, okay. And let's just look at the support for a second because you've got this now. You've got this now, okay. So can you siren through? Just siren through into your container. Okay. Less is more. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel what it like. If I had to say, or I'm sorry, if you had to say, like, what is the story that your mind is telling you about what needs to happen for that note to come out?
I mean, that's a transitional note. So you're like, oh, it's like, I'm not sure
Enough
about the
said.
nature. Yeah, it's
Enough
like,
said. Did you guys see? So it's like, oh, and that's like exactly what his body is
yeah,
doing in that moment.
Okay.
It's responding to that message from his mind that there's something to be scared of. But what if, Stelios, what if your body was built to do this? What if your instrument, your God-given instrument, like just like every baby can cry and cry at the top of their lungs, never get tired, never get hoarse. It's the most present, resonant sound. Why? Because it's Mother Nature. We were born as Mother Nature's most effective producers of sound. So let's do an experiment. How would you do this phrase if your body was built to do this? I don't know. Let's find out. Ask yourself that question. How would I do this if I didn't have to force it, if my body was actually built to do this? I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
That's it. But you guys, this is like textbook, right? Because we worked the technique. He got the technique. And if we don't adjust the mindset like we just did in that moment, it's not going to get the result that he wants because technique is not optimized in a vacuum. You've got to address both. So what did you notice about that as you did it in your body and in your mind? Like what did you notice?
So definitely I was trusting it more. So because I've been doing the work, so okay, I knew it worked, but I think it's like trusting to do less and kind of like trusting, letting go, and say, okay,
Right. But
let's see
right
what
now,
happens.
but right now, you guys, Stelios just got some really important data. What data did you get from doing this?
First of all, that it's possible, and yeah,
That,
exposing
that
and
I
it's
actually get a better outcome. It's possible to get a better outcome
yeah,
without forcing it and
pushing.
trying so hard
Uh,
and pushing it.
yeah.
Yeah. But see, he had to trust first. He had to trust first. He trusted, then he got this outcome, and now he got data that now reinforces when he trusts first, he gets the outcome instead of waiting until he sees that he can do it and let go and be okay, and then he'll trust. Doesn't work that way. So you just got some really powerful data that you can trust your instrument, and that when you trust first, there it is. Well
Mhm.
done, Stelios. So
Thank you very much.
that's so good, you guys. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. So we're going to continue coaching more. Annie, I see your hand. Annie Donalon. Annie's going to coach next, and I'm going to have Annie coach Annie, meaning our
Oh,
awesome
cute.
coach Annie Fitch is going to coach Annie Donalon. But before we do that, we have a very special guest who's here today who is actually in Europe, and he is on European time, which is late. And so I want to really honor his time here. So we'll come back to coaching after we hang out with him for a minute. And I want to make sure you guys know what your homework is also. So your homework is to practice your opposition with your sirens using the Mamomu MP3 that you have from yesterday to practice those with your new opposition tools and your sirens. And you also have a thought exercise to prepare for tomorrow's session as well. So the thought exercise for tomorrow's session is understanding why you sing the way that you do. And so again, if you've attended one of our workshops before and you've done this before, you have more awareness now. Go deeper this time. Approach the technique and the exercises and the thought exercise with a new intention from the awareness you have now. And if you're watching the replay, the homework link is in your Masterclass workbook under day 3. Okay, so I want to get to our special guest and then we'll get back to coach some more. So I have somebody really cool to talk to you today who can really, really share better than anybody else his experience of opening back up his voice from so much tension and strain and lack of confidence and claiming some really cool opportunities that he has wanted from it. So he is a professional bass player who has played in big bands on big stages his entire career. And he went from having a voice that he could not trust with all of this tension and strain, which then kept him in the background playing bass instead of being the front lead singer he really wanted to be. But since he's been working these tools and this method, he's now stepping into opportunities as the front man and professional lead singer in a new band that he has always wanted to be. So I have invited him here to share some of his experience with you, the things that have moved the needle the most for him in his skill set, his technique, and his mindset, in hopes that you will gain a nugget of gold that you can use to completely change the outcomes of your singing journey like he has with his. So please welcome Simon Horn. Simon!
What an intro.
So Simon is an Aussie who lives in Germany, and he is Mr. International. And we have a lot of international singers who work with us, and we love you guys. So Simon, let's start. If you could share with everybody Like, what was going on with your voice and your singing before you joined our intensive program? Like, how are you feeling? What was going on?
I made a whole bunch of notes, but I guess we'll
Just
just.
it's your story, you know.
One of the main things was that I was in my head. I was thinking, not literally singing in my head, but I was thinking about things too much. Um, and I was striving. I was wanting to be seen. It was all about, me, me, me. And I guess I was attached to the outcome. I had a sort of an outcome identity, if that makes sense. Like if things went well, then I felt good. If things didn't go well, then I would, crash and burn, so to speak. So that's kind of that's the nutshell version.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a lot of as you said, there's a lot of tension. Um, I felt that I had a voice inside me, but I didn't really know how to get to find it or to develop it. So I thought I had to keep on trying and strive and do more instead of be more. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I remember like when we first spoke, and you were like, I am a songwriter and I want to sing my songs. I don't want to be the bass player in the back singing backup while somebody else plays my songs and sings my songs. And at that time, though, like, how were you feeling about things given all of that?
I guess really frustrated, trapped, I would say, because I knew I wanted to be something else. And yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a stereotypical thing about bass players. We sort of do high at the back. So I'm a bit of a split personality. We have twin boys. And I think in me, there's twins, there's two people. So I'll hold back a bit, but then there's also this risk taker really. There's this not well, the younger son was pretty wild, but and another coach said to me a couple of years ago that I lost my edge. So it's kind of like, I sort of I just took my place at the back of the band and went, and there's photos of me or videos of me just head down and going, oh yeah. And I can't go back to just playing bass now. Like if I go into a gig just playing bass, I just feel like it's just not all me. Like I've I've crossed that threshold to the front of the stage, and I know what it's like there. As scary as it is, but as invigorating and just joyful as it is, So I think just to answer your question, it's really just felt stuck. Really felt stuck, and I couldn't. I feel like there's nothing I could do to move forward. I would say.
And I mean, I know that you had tried other training in the past. You had mentioned like you'd had other coaches. So, what was it for you about training in this way that was so significantly different than all your other training experiences? Like, how was this approach more aligned, and how it felt?
I think it's the present moment awareness. I don't know if you talked about that in
We
the
have.
series, but
So you guys, Simon, he's done his homework and he's still 2 years later, like he's
3 years
working,
later,
3 years later, working his tools. But yeah,
yeah,
keep going.
yeah, that present moment awareness is really the key. Also the mindset. So present moment awareness, the meditations, the mindset, and obviously being on these amazing calls with Arden because she would just see stuff, just and just nail it. And I've never seen anyone do that. But so the present moment awareness, like just because I mean, watching some of the other coaching here is that, yeah, the monkey mind creeps in or the fear or all that stuff and being aware of it and saying, no, I'm not believing in that. Or, um, I know I have tension, as I get older, I've got back tension, et cetera, et cetera. I've got some nerves. I mean, we had a big gig, about a month ago or 6 weeks. And I was 2 days before, I've never felt tension so much. Like it was just like I had lead rods throughout my body. And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this gig. And then the day of the gig, no, it's always, for me, it's always the day before the day before. Does that make sense? Like if the gig's on a Saturday, the Thursday was just a nightmare. I was like, this is just, how am I going to do this? But so through the meditations in the present moment, it's like it's just not real. Like what I'm feeling is not real. It's what is fear? False evidence appearing real.
Mhm.
So, and you know me. I'm a good student. I do the homework. I do the preparation, and then it just comes down to trust and surrender. And I, before this gig. I was sick for a month. I couldn't sing properly. We did this vocal. I did this demo for this new band, and I wasn't really hitting the notes I could. So half the demo was just sort of my lower range, and I just had to trust that. Okay, well, what else can I do apart from just
Well,
get
like
on
what we
stage
were
and
just doing with
switch
Stalio.
switch on the engine and go for it, and
That's
it's there.
right.
It's there. You have to trust, and it's I've had a moment on that gig where it was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like I can hear this voice and I'm playing bass at the same time, which is a thing in itself. And it's just almost sort of pure joy, really, but also like sort of almost out of body, like, is this really happening? You know? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
So
so like I want you to talk more about that. Like I know you've had some pretty big wins and some pretty big shifts. So I see some asking in the chat. Like, can you share what some of your biggest shifts and biggest wins and the changes that you've noticed in your singing working this way?
the biggest wins, where have I had? So I've got way more tone, more range, more power, more consistency, more connection with the audience. It's not about me. I feel like now I'm getting to a place where it's like I'm a vehicle for music, for the song, and for joy. Like one of my things is recently is really to connect into just the pure joy of singing, but also just being creative. I think as a kid, I was just really like not hyper, but just complete. I don't know if anyone's experienced that real joy of like it's your birthday and you're like, "Woo!" Do you know what I mean? So, but I think the biggest thing recently has been like I always felt that I didn't feel like safe to really open my heart. And I was like, so I'd always pull back or I'd go for a note and I'd be like, no, I won't go for that. And then I think I was listening back to some recordings or I was like, why do I always do that at the end? Like I always say this thing at the end of phrases and Arden talks about the sale. And so I just listened to a whole bunch of music or artists that bring me to tears, literally, and trying to get into like a place of like my heart. And then so on this gig was like just to really to match the sort of the emotion with the mindset with the technique and just to hold those notes and just to open. I think that's that sensation of the technique but also opening your heart at the same time. Um, and to the point where I listen back to the recordings and go, all right, I'm hitting. There's a song by The Police, "Message in a Bottle," so which is it's pretty up there. Um, let Adam will go into pitches. Not it's not a what do you
Doesn't
say?
exist in physical
Just
space.
just another note. Um, but it was effortless, and then the people afterwards was saying, I love your version of Roxanne, and I'm a big Sting fan. So and you've got a great voice, and I could tell that the authentic. I think when someone comes up to you and they're authentically being authentic to you about like how great that was, you can tell that their hearts have been touched. So I guess to summarize, my sort of my intention is another big thing as well. My intention at the moment is to connect with my heart so I connect with other people's hearts. And that's what it's all about for me. That's what I want to do. And the next big thing, like I've proved I can go and sing other people's songs, but the next thing is to go further and deeper into who I am and start to write the songs that are there that I get to believe that are there. So it's going back to the whole process. it just doesn't end. So I think at the beginning of this, I said I was always attached to the outcome, and now I'm, Arden, you talk about staying in the footwork and letting go of the outcome. Like I could write a whole bunch of songs and I could record them, and nothing could happen, but it doesn't matter. It's for me, it's about staying in that present moment and just staying true to who I am. And um, you
But what's
know,
interesting that you spoke to a second ago, and that you've proven time and again when you share these big wins with me, like just sharing, you had a really big gig and you just connected to your heart and people were coming up to you afterwards. When you stay in that, those songs that you write, they will be successful because you're approaching it from that, from being the leader at the tip of the spear of your own journey. And that's all you can ever do. And so you keep embodying that. Like every time I check in with you, you're doing some new cool thing. Like with this new band where it's you're the front man. Like you're not hiding behind your bass anymore. And now it's going to be your songs and it's going to be your authenticity. And when you approach it from that place, the same thing will happen. The people will come up to you afterwards because that's what you've set up. But I'm curious, what the most transformative aspects have been for you, that the biggest game changers that have allowed you to approach, to just completely go from forcing and proving and da-da-da to like, I'm in the moment with myself connecting and like, wow, you're right here with me. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think have been the top one or two things that have really allowed you to shift into that from doing this work?
I think what I said before, well, it's knowing, no, I mean, I think the present moment thing and I guess really present moment and intention.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the present moment awareness thing helps me. I mean, there's three. It's like present moment, intention, and technique. Because I now start to understand like how the voice works, how my body works, how I'm not singing from here anymore. I'm singing like from my
The
heart, from my
floor.
body. You talk about the pelvic floor, and even I was teaching this afternoon, and I was, I'm not. I warm up every day. I do the thing. I'm doing If I have a gig, then I'll take a week to warm up to that gig. But if I don't have a gig, then I'm just in a sort of normal routine of maintaining. And I was singing in the car, but I'm not going for it. I'm not like I'm on stage, but I'm singing. But I'm practicing more in my body. I'm practicing more like I'm not thinking about the notes. I'm thinking about like how is my posture? Where is this position? How would I pitch that note? It sounds like I'm thinking about it, but I'm just more feeling it. So I think the present moment awareness helps me to really tap into like I mean, like you said, I study bass. I know like how fine movements work. I know how to tweak stuff. So I know now that tapping into, from knowing the technique, the present moment awareness, and tapping into that technique, then I can start to sort of, well, not start to, I get the sounds that I'm after, which allows me to go, well, what's the intention for this song? And then say, okay, well, it needs to be a love song, or it's a melancholy song, or it's an Australian song about being Australian, or yeah, so I think those three things, if that connects the dots for me to the point where I don't have to think about like how am I delivering this song because the rest of it is already there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And you guys, like, I want to point something out that he said. So when he said, well, it's really three things, did you notice that technique was the third thing? It wasn't the first thing. The first two things were mind body things. Because this third thing isn't going to connect the way you want it to if these first things are not embodied. And it's what Stelios was experiencing earlier, and Simon just like reinforced that. So it's all of these working together, but exactly what he's speaking to about how when he's conditioning that present moment, then when he's working on technique, it just goes, it just hooks in, because he's not in that place of mind sabotaging body from doing the things that he's asking his body to do. And he's not in the place of mind sabotaging body to create all of the old fears and forcings and stuff that created all the tension that he was experiencing before. So what has all this allowed you to do? Tell me more about what those means, what all this means. I know you have the new band. What are you excited for?
Excited to do more gigs and to, I think, to stay true to not lose sight of the of my intention. I think um yeah, we also have about 4 gigs this year. So I think we've just put a video of the demo on YouTube. We're sending it to people now. So I guess what am I excited for? Just to keep staying in the present moment.
Well, yeah, well, it's because
To
like you're
keep staying
doing
in
the
the
thing
footwork,
now.
Sorry?
You're doing the thing now that was the thing that you really wanted to do, which was be the front man and be the lead. And so now that like you're stepping into all this and it's new and it's exciting, and like if you just continue approaching it with the same beliefs and the same beingness instead of doingness, right? This will have the same result of that authenticity and that connection that you've been experiencing in the other aspects of your music career. So well, and I guess the other thing I was saying is like is if you were talking to somebody who wants more of what we do here, so you'll see after we finish, there's people who have questions for you in the chat. Like if you were talking to people who want more of what we do here, I'm thinking that maybe they want what you have. They want to train in a system that gives them more joy, more consistency, but maybe they're worried about like the time or working online instead of in person or the investment or something. Like what advice would you give them having been through this yourself?
I think I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, but I would basically, can I get a bit teacher?
Do whatever you want.
Okay, so everyone just close your eyes now, and imagine that you are the person and you are the singer that you've always wanted to be. And now imagine that that's a reality, because it can be a reality. And once it is a reality, that is absolutely priceless. Like there's nothing, no money or time investment. It's worth so much more than that. Like the investment that you make in yourself to get to become that person that you've always wanted to be. That is, to me, I can tell you that, but to me, that is absolutely priceless. Like, and now that I've broken through that sort of threshold, as it would be, I can't go back. I cannot go back to the old ways. Like that would just feel really strange. Um, and like my whole, if I don't sing, if I don't do this, I just get, I can feel my body like just sort of crumbling into not nothing, but I just feel so much more alive. Like, so if you want to feel alive and step into being a new person, the person you've always wanted to be, then this is definitely, I would say, yes, do it.
Thank you so much, Simon. You guys, please thank Simon for giving his time at, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night in Germany. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for
okay,
sharing
no worries.
your experience. And I'm sure Simon will,
Thank
pop
you.
into the chat if there's, any, because I see some of you had some more specific questions for him. So thank you again, Simon. It's such a thrill for me to see all that you are doing, and you are so humble and you are so dedicated, and it's just a joy for me to watch everything that you're up to. So, but you guys, like, now you see what's possible, right? Like, you have already gotten so many ahas and results from the last few days, right? So we're gonna coach a little bit more. So I said, Annie Donalon, I had seen your hand, and so you're not just gonna get me, you're gonna get Annie and I tag teaming you.
Oh, good name.
And so do you have a piece of rep, a piece of something that you might want to lean into?
The Caccini Ave Maria.
All righty. Are you comfortable to stand or are you
I
better?
am, yeah. And just to let you know, I am blind. So if you, when you make descriptions like say here and there, I would, if you could be a little more
Yeah,
specific, that would be appreciated.
we can do that. All right. So
Great.
let's you do like maybe a couple bars of verse chorus. Okay, Annie, I can hear a little bit of it. I think you need to turn your original sound on. Do you know how to do that?
I was trying to do that, and I can't seem to find where that is located. Is it
Okay.
under video or audio settings?
So it would be in your Zoom workplace, like in your Zoom settings under audio settings. Like I can hear a little bit, like I can hear you have a fantastic instrument and I want us to be able to work with you on this, but I want us to be able to hear everything.
Sure,
So
yeah.
um but it's the kind of thing that to set up the settings, you need to I think no, you don't need to exit the Zoom meeting to do it. What kind of device are you on?
No.
Are you on a laptop or what kind of device are you?
Laptop, yeah.
Okay. So are you able to go to the audio settings, the Zoom audio settings on your laptop?
So I'm currently in Zoom Workplace. I might have to
You can do it in Zoom Workplace.
exit and come back
You
because
don't
I
need
don't
to
know.
you shouldn't need to exit and come back. If you click on Zoom Workplace and then click on settings in that menu.
Check for updates, discover what's new, settings. Okay, goody.
Yeah. So click on settings and then the list is general, video, and then audio. If you click on audio, so under audio, it says speaker and then microphone and then audio profile. You want to look under audio profile.
Okay, I have automatic noise suppression, background noise suppression low.
Okay, so hold
Background.
on. So where under that, there's a thing that you can enable that says original sound for musicians. So just listen until she says on the list original sound for musicians. There,
There it is.
there. You got it? Did you hear, Annie, did you hear where she said original sound for musicians?
I did.
Okay, you want to enable that. Click
Okay,
that.
I
Check that
believe
box.
that I just did.
Okay, now under that, there's three choices. High fidelity music mode, which you do not want. Do not check that. Under that is echo cancellation. You do want to check that.
Yeah, I apologize, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience.
No, it's okay. I
thought that
I want to be able to work with you.
I honestly thought that I had this together.
It's okay.
Oh,
Okay,
come
we
on.
have time.
So check echo cancellation when you hear it. So you still want to be in audio, Annie?
Right, I know. I'm trying to get to. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, come on. Seriously.
Well, you know what though? Because you've enabled original sound for musicians, that's going to take care of a lot of stuff. And so in the interest of time, let's exit out of the Zoom workplace settings, okay? And come back to our Zoom screen here.
Okay, that is where I am currently.
Okay. And now I know where I see it. I'm not sure how you would find it with your like audio instructions, but when I'm looking at my Zoom screen, at the top, it tells me that we're recording. And then right next to it, it says original sound for musicians. And that's where you can click it to on. It will say original sound for musicians off. Right now you've enabled the setting and now you got to turn it on.
Okay, yeah, so that's gonna take more time than we have.
Okay, so let's do this because I want to coach with you. Ashley, will you connect with Annie later, Annie Donnellan, later this afternoon so that we can get her original sound set up? At Annie D, Ashley has your email. She will connect with you, and then tomorrow you're going to be the first one that I coach with. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Not a problem, you guys. Like, we want to make sure that everybody, I mean, you all need to know how to enable your settings anyway, because otherwise the Zoom sound doesn't work the way we want. Okay, so Annie Donnellan, I'm excited. We will work with you tomorrow. Ashley's going to email you now to connect with you, and even if she needs to hop on a Zoom with you or a screen share or something, we're going to make it work. Okay.
Yeah, I think screen sharing is gonna be the best way to do
Okay.
it.
So
The best
Ashley,
thing.
will you make a time to do that with Annie D tomorrow or later today?
Yeah, I'll email
Okay.
her.
Okay. Very
Yep,
good.
thank you.
Okay. Cool. So we still have time for one more guinea pig. If somebody, okay, I see Suberto. That's the first hand that I saw. All right, Suberto. Hello, hello.
Good. Hello.
Hi.
Hey there.
Okay there. Hi there.
Can you turn the gain up on your mic a little?
Okay, hold on.
Yep. And so let's
Okay, okay, test 1, 2. Is this better?
yeah, much better,
Is this
much
Much
better.
better.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so go ahead and stand up and let's do a little, bit of something, a verse of something, a chorus of something, and then Annie and I are going to tag team and we're going to work on some opposition. Okay?
Okay. I mean, I'm closer to the pop realm, so I'm just picking something like super easy.
Go for
They're
it.
not, they don't, it doesn't have long notes, but you know this song well. So now, what are we doing?
All right, let's do it. Go for it. Just a verse or a chorus of whatever that song
Oh, okay.
is.
Hmm.
Mama, take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting hard to see. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door.
Cool. All right. So, Annie Fitch, I'm gonna let you dive in.
Absolutely. Of course. Awesome. That was great. That's a very great starting place. So, straight in, coming into your sale first, it feels to me like you do use your sale, especially when you're in the middle of the phrase. But to me, it feels like you're using your sale at maybe 50% of what's available to you at the moment. There's a lot more to explore. And so, coming into that sensation of getting in between your ears. Look at your beautiful smile. You have a great, beautiful smile and beautiful cheekbones. And that's what we want to see you engage as you breathe in, because there's just a little bit more. Can you feel when you take that beautiful breath that smells so delicious? Can you feel like your teeth? Can you feel those teeth kind of rise up a little bit?
Yes, I do.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the right feeling. So we want you to go farther with it. Take it to 11 out of 10 when you breathe in. And let's just start there and let's play with that.
Okay.
Yep. So go all the way on the breath.
Mama, take this badge off of me. I
Good.
can't use it anymore. It's
Okay, good. Okay,
getting
great, great, great.
hot.
Yeah, let's start right there. So that was out of the gate. Wow, a lot more presence in your sound because you took it so much farther. Bravo, really, really good. And now the moment that it wants to fall down is the moment that pitch goes down.
Okay. It's
You
like,
there's like melodically at the ends of the phrases, the song's going out of my head more. When the
yeah.
pitch goes down, that's when the trap door falls down. And so, like you said, you could feel your teeth pulling up into your brain. I want you to oppose what the pitch is doing. More. That's when the fish hooks rise up. Give it a try.
Mama, take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting hard to see. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door.
Great. Everyone, could you see how we all of a sudden we saw all those like beautiful chiclets in his smile? He was making that shape of all the singers that we saw in the presentation where you were in that beautiful upside down triangle shape and your sound just had so much texture to it. Really, really good. So now that you've found that, like, let me ask you a question. How much more does that feel like in your body when you go that far? What do you notice about it?
Full disclosure, I think it was in one of Arden's videos I saw recently, kind of thinking about my cheeks as pillows, but I feel that there's more. It sounds crazy, but you know,
Right, right. So, how would you, what does more feel like so that you could find it again?
Like,
um,
Silberto, is there like a shape or an image or a sensation that you can call on to find this more again in your own body?
probably like a steady controlled note or breath, because um, I've been told, by vocal coaches that I sometimes may go too hard. So like I may need to just like lower the volume, lower the intensity. Um,
But even so, that's sort of the energy that you're working from, which it's great that you're aware of that. But like for the physiology that Annie was just playing with, that you found so beautifully, which by the way, it was so much more resonant. It was so much more pingy and so much more just like we could hear all the beautiful colors and overtones in your voice. In order to find that again, that shape, that feeling, like as you were doing it, was there an image or a sensation or something you could recall again to find that more every time?
yes, and this is like recently, just in the last few weeks, um, the sensation of a little bit of ringing, like in the top of my head, maybe a little bit against the cartilage of my nose.
Yes, in the
That
mouth.
I kind of been sensitive to that lately.
Okay, so if you don't feel that, then you know you're in the habit. You know you're in that lower soft palate resonance space, in that lower sail space, if you don't feel that, okay? So in order to feel that, you got to go to that more place. It's like another tick on the dial. It was like when you first did it, you were kind of like on a scale of like 1 to 10, you were kind of like, I don't know, maybe a 6 or a 7. And then how far did it feel like you were going the next time you did it? Did it feel like 35?
Yeah, it felt like about 50% more.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
definitely you were like way up at like 25, you know what I mean? But what this is partially a mindset thing, guys, which is that Suberto, you have to go to 25 to get to 10. When you thought 10, you were at 6. So that feeling, now, because I can tell that your body responds really well, I'm going to give you one other thing to add to what Annie was just doing. So you're going to 25 up here, okay? Now, I'm going to ask you to bring the siren back that we were talking about. And instead of singing these phrases and making them sound cool and pretty and good or whatever, okay, you're going to be in your sail at 25, but I just want you to siren the words. So it might feel a little square or not that like, I don't know, interesting, but difference being like, I'll do it on a different song because I don't want to give you like a line reading. Difference being, amazing grace, how sweet the sound. That's just me sirening through my opposition, okay?
Right.
Can
right.
you siren through the Guns N' Roses?
Yeah. Mama, take this badge off of me.
Good, do it again, do it again. Hold on, I want you to do it again. And you guys, his hand is telling me where the majority of his support in his body is, and it's all kind of up here right now. I'm missing, Gilberto, the lower anchoring of your body. So your sail is fantastic. Your anchor is flowing around in the current right now. Okay?
Okay.
So,
and that I have to ask this question. I mean, it's been like bugging. I still don't know how much I need to inhale to create that cushion in order to flex.
okay.
And what I've been doing, I've been kind of winging it. Just take a little bit of inhale, but then I don't like to take much so that I can expand and flex.
Okay, so this is a great question, and we need to clear up this confusion. The inhale, I don't want you to think take a little, take a lot, take that out of your brain, okay? Right now, I want you to focus on releasing into a life breath. So if you were to back up, can you back up from your device a little bit so I can see more of you and tilt the screen just a little bit so I can see more of your torso? Good, and take like, I don't know, 2 steps back because now I can't see your face. Perfect, okay. So a life breath, just a life breath. Like just let your body breathe like you breathe every day.
Right.
If you were breathing and smelling brownies or doing the dishes, doesn't matter, okay? Right. So do you feel how much you got? Plenty of air. You weren't trying to mitigate a little, a lot, because when you're doing that, you're creating tension. And tension now is why you're having a hard time feeling what you're doing in your flex, because you were trying to manage that inhale, which created a certain amount of tension that then you couldn't flex from, okay? So life breath, and then put your hands back on your obliques, okay? Life breath in, and then hiss into that expansion that you created when you got your life breath. Because when you got your life breath, it went into your back. It did what it was supposed to. You don't need to do any more than that right now. So exhale. Okay, so you did a beautiful inhale, and then I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you should rewind and watch what you did on the recording, Gilberto. You did a beautiful inhale, and then the minute you went to hiss, your whole container went and like everything went, okay? So this time, arm around your lat, arm on your belly, not on this, come on this side. Yep, okay. So just notice the inhale, the life breath. Notice what you feel when you do that. Do you feel that expansion when you give yourself that life breath?
Totally.
Exactly, okay? So that's all you have to do. Just the life breath, okay? That gives you the
What,
release.
did you say light or life?
L-I-F-E, life. Like how you breathe in your life.
Okay.
It's a life breath, okay? Like nothing different, okay, than you do every single day. So that is the beautiful expansion and release. Now, you're going to flex your muscles to keep that feeling of expansion as you hiss. You try it? Yes, yes, yes. Flow into your hands, into your hands, into your hands, into your hands, into your hands. Yes! Now you're not collapsing, okay? So now you're gonna siren, Ah, into the same feeling.
Ah.
Let's do it again. You're doing a great job here. Go to 25. Go to 25 because you've got the bottom part of the opposition, but the top part of the opposition didn't really oppose as much as we want. So play it again.
Ah.
That was way better. Now, because you're a smart cookie, I'm going to give you one more thing to think about, okay? Can your jaw not be involved? Because I'm seeing right? This is just, remember, we're talking about the midline here. We don't need anything getting involved, okay? This is going this way, this is going this way, and this is just on, it's on for the ride. It's not involved at all, okay? One more time. Okay, so this is super common, which is when he's thinking about relaxing his jaw, and your jaw did relax, the sail went in the direction of the jaw. And so this is the hardest thing for everybody, like I was saying, is the idea of the opposition. You have one thing being active and one thing being passive. And right now, when this is passive, so's this. Okay, so can you play with a mini opposition here of this being active and this being passive? Ah, try it.
Oh.
I'm just going to give you the simple step of smile while you do it.
Oh.
That's getting there, okay? So there's some moving pieces here that are all related. But that's the beginning. So we're going to take this feeling of this opposition of sail and anchor, and I don't know what key you're in. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Okay?
All right.
Don't worry about making it pretty. Just be in your opposition.
Okay, we're doing the siren.
Yep. Siren through.
Mama, take this badge for me.
So do you feel how it gets a little bit wobbly in the me? That's because your body is done before the note is done. Okay, so if you're phonating, guys, if you have a held note, you still got to be moving through me. Don't be done with this. Okay, do it again.
Mama, take this badge for me.
Getting there.
I can't do it anymore. It's getting hard to see. I feel like knocking on heaven's door.
That is so much better, Suberto. So much better. All right. Thank you for being a guinea pig. All right, you guys, I know
Thank you, Annie.
I know we've gone over in time, but stick with me here because like you've already gotten so many ahas. And thank you to Annie for lending her mojo to the conversation. But you got so many ahas from this over the last few days so far, just the last 3 days. So I want to show you how I can help you bring this full circle, okay? You now have some game-changing tools, so many new awarenesses to go out and already be a whole lot more successful on your own. And so if you're comfortable with the trial and error of that, of going through the rest of the process of embodying and implementing and figuring all this out as you go with all these tools and trying lots of different things until you get the result that you want, I want to encourage you to get out there as soon as possible with all of these tools. Or if you're the kind of person that likes to follow an exact blueprint, like who wants an A to Z roadmap for maximizing your impact and your potential so that you have eyes and ears on you to tell you what to do, how to do it, make sure you're doing it right, that is going to get you a predictable and repeatable result in your voice, then the intensive training program is probably for you. That's the training program that Simon trained in. So the intensive, guys, it's an all-in-one program. It's a holistic training approach to your journey that addresses your technique, your mindset, and your artistry all together so that you know how to access 100% of your potential, to unleash that full power and consistency of your voice, of your talent, stand out from the competition so that you can land those elite and next level opportunities and keep them coming. So through our time in the program, you'll have that higher level of reliability and consistency and trust in your technique that Simon was talking about. That trust is the most important thing that shows up for you no matter what, where your body's working for you, not against you, and singing in a way that doesn't just sound good, but that feels good. Because you guys, if it doesn't feel good, then why are we doing this, okay? And you're gonna get freedom and stamina instead of tension and strain and fatigue, and consistently better results from your auditions, your performances, your recordings. Like, no more putting in all this time and work and money and not seeing the kinds of results that you want. Because you will finally own your sound. You tap into your confidence, your own unique voice that you have, that nobody else has. Your special sauce that sets you apart from every other singer out there, which is actually what we're going to be training on later this week. So keep them coming. We're going to be training on all of that. But you guys, imagine not being the bridesmaid anymore, right? It's like no more longing and frustration and anxiety and that sadness of watching somebody else up there on that stage getting the big opportunities that you want while you're still stuck at the same level you've been at forever. And instead, imagine it's your curtain call. Imagine walking in the stage door and seeing your name on the dressing room door. Imagine walking into the grocery store and hearing your song playing on the radio. Guys, that's happened to me. It is the coolest thing. Some of you know the story. I was in the Ralph's grocery store on La Brea in Los Angeles. My daughter was 6 months old, and I was had her in the cart, and all of a sudden my song comes on the radio in the grocery store. I FaceTimed my mom. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, this is the coolest thing, okay? But you guys, it is. Imagine walking on the biggest stage of your life and looking out into the crowd and thinking, I did this. I did this. Because let's think about it. What is it really costing you not to own that life that you want with your talent and be able to do the thing that would get you there right now? It's costing you time. That is the one non-renewable resource we are all given, time. I mean, how much time have you lost? Think about it. On the hamster wheel that you have been on, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, not getting the breakthroughs where you want to be, settling, playing small. How much time have you spent on that wheel? Do you want to lose another year? Do you want to lose another 5 years? God forbid, another decade? Doing the same things in the same ways, getting the same results that are keeping you stuck. And then all of a sudden, you're at the end of your life and you look back in that sadness and that regret, wondering, what if? What if? Who would I have been? What could I have done if I'd really fought for my gifts in a different way? That's what Simon's talking about. It's costing you guys opportunities, income, impact. And while those things are frustrating, guys, to me, they're not even the real cost. What is it really costing you not to own your voice? I am legit asking you guys, type it into the chat. What is it really costing you not to own your voice? Guys, this is the time where we get real. There is no blame and shame in this. What is it costing you? Get vulnerable. Get real. Kevin says it's costing joy. I know Kevin is not the only one. This is where you get to air it out. Suzette, my dream. Celia, my joy. Isabel, time. Jean, fulfillment. Yeah. Tanya, lack of confidence. Yeah. And for those of you who are parents out there, I know Isabel is a parent, what is it costing you to have your kids not know the highest version of you? And what is it costing them to watch you play small? I don't know if you guys, your kids are any different than mine, but I can tell my daughter till I'm blue in the face, if you can believe it, you can be it. But if she's watching me sit down on my dreams and not fight for what I want, what is she really learning? What am I modeling for her? So yes, this is about your singing, you guys, but no, it's not. What is it really costing you to have a gift and constantly feel like you're hitting a wall when all you want to do is live it to its fullest potential? What is it really costing you to have to accept a B+ career when you know you have an A+ talent? What is it really costing you not to own your voice? So that's what we're doing here, guys. Teaching you the skill set, the heart set, the mindset needed to go from exceptional talent to exceptional success. Everyone's got talent. Not everyone knows how to get from A to B. And then in turn, giving you the ability to fully step into the gift that you were given and do what you were put here to do. And so to do that, there's really 4 key pillars involved over 16 weeks of an intensive training program. The first pillar is Technique Accelerator, where we make sure that there are no gaps in your technique and rapidly help you to nail down technical mastery. Technique Accelerator is comprised of the first 2 elements that we did yesterday and today, but deep diving, game-changing, breath support, and resonance, where we're teaching you high-level technique that ensures consistency, reliability, eliminates tension, strain, bad habits. This is the bedrock of your ability to tap into your fullest potential of your voice and deliver that when it counts every single time with full impact, no matter what, so you can go out there and start hitting your career goals, whatever they may be, higher paying gigs, records that make success, worship leading, whatever it is. The second pillar is unleashing your unique artistry. So most vocal coaches, they only teach you technique, which is why their clients don't get hired. And so we're going to take you through a really powerful process to immediately tap into your unique energy, your unique sound. We're going to do a lot of training on this tomorrow and Friday, so don't miss it. Show you how to unleash maximum impact for performance so you're the one they want to remember. You're the one whose songs they want to listen to over and over and over again. You're the one they want to hire. Okay? And then the third pillar is a blueprint for mastering your mindset. Because as you know, this is another piece that traditional training does wrong. Or not even wrong, you guys, they don't do it at all, and that's mindset. Most vocal coaches train you from the neck down, and they leave out the one part of your body that can and will sabotage everything else if it's not trained, and that's your mind. Because, what did we say? Your body cannot do what your brain is sabotaging. When Stelios was coaching earlier, he was kind of getting it, and then we addressed the mindset, boom! All that technique now exactly where we need it to be. You cannot build technical mastery, you cannot unleash your unique artistry if you're being sabotaged by what's going on in your head, both on stage and off, that you don't even realize. So in this blueprint, we teach you advanced professional mindset strategies so you will perform to your potential 100% of the time because we have taught you how to get out of your own way. And then finally, the last piece of this is all about support, world-class support. Because if you guys could have fixed these things on your own, I know you would have. And this is honestly where most training programs drop the ball. Either they hand you a bunch of information and they leave you on your own to figure out how to do it, or if they do give you support, it's minimal and you waste a ton of time between lessons. Number one, not having anybody to check in with to see if what you're practicing is correct, or are you just practicing in the old bad habits without even realizing it and continuing to reinforce those? And number two, there's nobody mirroring back to you all the ways that you're getting in your own way that you don't even see. And so we're the opposite of that. We're with you every step of the way, making sure you're implementing these strategies correctly and in a timely manner. And so we're building your transformation right alongside you. So here's how we deliver that. You get weekly technique training modules. You get weekly mind and body integration modules. You get individual weekly coaching in the context of our studio class group. You get that twice a week. We do weekly group mindset calls. You get one-on-one accountability mentoring with your own dedicated mindset coach. And you get a community and a safe space where you get to go beyond your comfort zone in a really, really compassionate and really supportive community of your peers who are all working on the same things that you are. It's kind of like an artistic incubator to be among like-minded singers where you can learn and take action and grow to achieve your goals. So the tuition for our intensive training program for the 4-month program is usually $9K, but I'm giving you guys some huge bonuses during this workshop week. So first, I'm taking $2,000 off the tuition from everybody, for everybody in here from now until this Sunday night as a big bonus discount for everyone in the workshop. So it's just $7K until midnight on Sunday. So that's the first big bonus, huge tuition discount. Then we have 3 more bonuses for those of you who enroll before Sunday night. You'll get a critique of one of your audition self-tapes. If you're not somebody who does a lot of auditions and has to do self-tapes for first round, you'll get a full audit of your artist website or your EPK. And the first 3 singers who opt for our pay info option, they get 2 bonus private one-on-one coaching sessions with me, in addition to all of the individual coaching time you get every week that you can use any time in your program. So we have some super flexible payment options. I'm going to share my screen. So the 4-month payments, you can do 4 payments of $18.97. That's 4 monthly payments. If you want to save a bunch of money, you can do 1 payment of $7K, or we do offer financing via PayPal. So depending on the rate and the term that you would qualify for, just like leasing a car, they'll see what you qualify for, and then they'll offer you a monthly payment plan that could be as low as $340 a month, depending on the rate and the term that you are qualified for. So let me stop sharing my screen. So Ashley just put the link to that information page that I was just on to learn more about the intensive training program. And if you know you want in, you can use the link that we just put in the chat to start your enrollment. You can pick your start date. You could literally be in class with us tomorrow if you wanted to be. If you have some questions, you'd like to book a short discovery call with me to find out if the training program is a good fit for you and if it's going to meet your goals, like your specific singing goals, then you can book a short call with me. This is not a coaching call. This is not a call where we're going to sing. It's just a short call to see if what I've just gone over is going to be a good fit for you to move forward and meet your goals. Then we can hop on a quick call just so that I can answer any questions that you might have. So that link, Ashley also just put in the chat, copy it down. Okay, tomorrow, you guys, do not miss tomorrow. We're going to be integrating all of these tools going from process to performance. I'm going to show you how to fast track process to performance by showing you how to get out of your own way, like we were just talking about, to bring it like you have never brought it before. So that's what's really necessary for the kind of impact it takes to make it at an elite level. So that's tomorrow. A reminder, do your homework tonight. Use the Mamo Moo MP3 yesterday to practice embodying your oppositions. Do your sirens. So remember, siren first, and then, so ma, and then bring that siren connective opposition, mamo moo, to the mamo moo, okay? There's also a thought exercise for you tonight that's important for you to do for what we're going to be talking about in tomorrow's class. So make sure you do it. It will prepare you and give you insights so that you're ready for the work that we're going to engage with tomorrow. Again, if you want to learn more details about the intensive training program, or if you're ready, you want to enroll, here's that link again in the chat to learn more and to take care of your enrollment. And again, if you have some questions, you want to talk to me, your next step is to book a short discovery call with me, and we'll talk about the program and, just make sure it's the right fit for your training. And by the way, like if training with us is where you know you want to be, then get in before the $2,000 discount disappears on Sunday and the workshop wraps. All right, you guys, big hands to those who volunteered for today. Thank you guys so much for engaging and staying present. And I will see you in tomorrow's workshop. Ready for big breakthroughs. All right, guys, bye.